anyone have any German Times rhymes? What's so funny?
Hey guys, welcome to Truman Times.
If you'd like to know what tricks the Cat in the Hat knew, read this book is all you have to do. I know some good games you can play, said the cat. I know some tricks, said the Cat in the Hat. A lot of good tricks. I will show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if all I do. Don't forget to dress up like your favorite Dr. Seuss character tomorrow.
Students, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now it's time for the German pledge.
I am somebody. Today I will be the best me I can be. I can be respectful, responsible, and safe. I can succeed.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
And who I want to be?
And who I want to be?
Give me some work.
Give me some work.
That will challenge me.
That will challenge me.
I still don't get it.
Truman Times Rhymes.
Oh.
Bye guys! Thanks for watching Truman Times.
Whenever you're ready. This is story time with Missy and Gilcrease.
Today we're going to be reading Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and Jimmy Dean. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun, and tons of fun. Gnarly. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea.
Hey, how about the sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place. Let's go.
Woo!
The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight.
On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that, Pete asked? It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. We haven't shown many pages.
Pete tried again to catch some Z's when...
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep.
Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard...
Hot pizza.
Pizza. Munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? Let's get in the pizza. All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea.
got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read. First to himself, then to the gang. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Get that one.
Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. The end.